Hi friends, welcome back. This is my Christmas in July part 2. If you were with me yesterday, you watched me talk about a stash that I picked up from a local stitcher who had passed, and I went through all of her whips and finished pieces and shared that all with you. And I talked about my Christmas in July. Now I'm going to finish talking about that. Let me just preface that today is Friday, July 11th, 2025. My name is Barb. I live here in West Seneca, New York. I'm just outside of Buffalo, and my local needlework shop is Hobby House. It's about an hour away from me. So let me jump into my part 2 of my Christmas in July. Now, when I've been watching a lot of FlossTube, and a lot of people are talking about their Christmas stitching and what they're doing and everything else. Well, when I think about Christmas, I think about presents. So to me, Christmas in July is all about presents. So I'm giving myself presents. Yesterday, as I mentioned, I talked about this Stitcher's stash, and that was a gift to myself. I also showed you Genevieve, my new featherweight. Again, if you're interested, go back to yesterday's video. Today, I want to talk to you about my Christmas stitching. Christmas. Okay, so this is my list. What I decided, and I talked to you about this before, where I had taken my whips. I had close to 30 whips, and I was using the online picker wheel, numerical picker wheel, and I had said that I wanted to work through my whips, and I was finding that some were getting love and some were not. So I was using the picker wheel to pull up at least 3 to 4 pieces a week that I could stitch on. Now, one of the days, I have 7 days in a week, right? 2 nights I am working. So I looked at the remainder of the week, my 5 full days. One night was devoted to crochet. I was working on that Afghan for my granddaughter, and it's right there. It's done. All I have to do is weave in the ends. So, and then the other night I was working on my temperature Quaker. So what I am doing for the month of July, I'm finished with the Afghan. I'm pushing the temperature Quaker off. I am taking those 5 nights, and I am going to start new pieces. I don't know how many I'm going to start. I don't care if I start 10. I don't care if I start 5. It is Christmas in July. I'm giving myself presents. I bought these things. I love these patterns. I have them kitted up, and I have plenty more kitted. I'm sure we all do. So I just go and I just pick something. I don't even look at it. I just pick it and I say, okay. And then I add it to my list. And what I will do come August, I will take all of these new pieces that I have added, and they will then become part of my picker wheel. I won't put their number in anymore until I make it through all of the other pieces that I have not touched yet. So I'm guessing they might not even make it back into my rotation until maybe October, and I'm okay with that. So my Christmas in July is not a whip parade. It is not Christmas stitching. There might be a new piece that I picked that happens to have a Christmas theme to it, but I am looking at all of my kitted projects and picking one and giving myself a present of a new start. So what I have done, this is my July in my book of days. I have stickered it up. So on July 1st, I did use the picker wheel, and I stitched on the Saltbox quilt sampler. Now, I didn't bring that piece out to show you because the only thing I'm going to show you today are my new starts. I also had a new start on Tuesday, July 1st, and it is called, let me just make sure I'm on the right one, Friendship Garden. Oh, I feel like I got a hair in my face. Friendship Garden, and it is by Plum Street. I purchased this pattern and the floss when I was at the Plum Street and Heartstrings Samplery Retreat back in April at Hobby House. It was wonderful, beautiful. I loved it. So I did purchase the pattern. This is it. Now the only problem I have with this pattern is the way the word flower is broken in half. And I have already looked at it to see if I can fix that so that it's not, I don't know, it looks like it might not be able to with the number of stitches, but I'm going to look at it again when I get to that part. Now I did start this and I got a little agitated with myself because I thought it was fully kitted, and then I realized I was missing one of the weeks. And you know, I do remember back at Hobby House just how quickly things were being purchased and shelves were becoming bare, and it's completely understandable. I just didn't put a note to myself that I was missing one of the floss. So this is my very, very tiny start. I actually started in the center of the design, the center flower, and let me tell you, my most favorite color on this is that teal or aqua. It's probably aqua. I think teal's a little bit darker. I love that. It's used very sparingly in this particular pattern. It is just in the top 3 flowers and then 2 little flowers at the bottom, but I just love how it pops. This was the thread that I was missing, so I did order it from 123. So here we are all together with all of our threads, and that teal is just lovely. So it's a mix of DMC, Classic Colorworks, and Weeks. And I'm loving this. I am absolutely loving this. I am using a hoop for this because the linen is just a little bit wonky for me. Making sure that I pull it from the right bag. Where's my bag? Oh, it's right here. Goodness sakes. This particular bag I was gifted when I was at the Hobby House retreat, which is why I kept this particular pattern in this bag from one of my table mates. Actually stitching with Westies. So I'm stitching this on 32 count Heartland by Picture This Plus. I am using all of the called for floss. I am stitching 1 strand of floss over 2 threads, and I really, really, really like this. So now this will be put to the side, and however many more new starts I have, that's how many more new starts I'm going to have. And after I get through the month of July with my new starts, I will then pick up my picker wheel again, and I would suspect that this piece might not come back to me until the end of the year, if not until next year, because I don't know how many new starts I'm going to have. If I have 10, if I have 15, if I have 5. We'll see how it goes. So my next new start, which I started on July 3rd, was called Be My Friend by the Scarlet House. And it says, "Come sit with me and be my friend. We'll stitch together till the end." It's very cute. So I was excited to start this piece. I don't know. I have a bunch of pieces that are kitted, as we all do. We have a bunch of things kitted up. I didn't know what was in this bag. I just pulled the bag and I started it. I'm looking to see if I have my notes on this. This is 36 count cappuccino linen. This one I am also using, no, I am not using a hoop on this one. I am stitching in hand with this. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Really depends on the linen itself. And I do prefer to stitch in hand. This does have a little bit of straight stitch on it according to the pattern. I'm not even sure where anymore. But this is my start. Oh, let me show you the floss too that's in here. Pull the ring off of here. Very, very pretty colors. And this is all Weeks Dye Works. Ooh, let me hold on to that. Maybe it's better if I just hold it here off to the side here. So this is my start. Very, very pretty. Now this one as I said, I worked on her twice. And it's going very quickly to start because, you know, lettering does go very quickly. This bag I made myself. I had some leftover decorator weight fabrics. So I just popped this together because I needed a bag. It's got some really pretty aqua lining. A couple of loops on the inside there and a pocket. I always like to put in a pocket when I make my project bags. Just because. Who doesn't like a pocket, right? I think that's one of the requirements when we buy any new clothes. It has to have a pocket. So my third start, now I didn't do any stitching on the 4th of July. We had gone to my brother-in-law's and, you know, we got home and it was just one of those nights where I just sat outside and enjoyed the evening. The weather has been beautiful here. I didn't do any stitching on Saturday because my kids were coming over on Sunday, so I was, you know, dusting, vacuuming, preparing the potato salad, getting some of those things done the night before so that on Sunday I could just make, I don't know if you ever made those when your kids were little, but the ice cream cone cupcakes where you bake the batter in the cupcake or in the ice cream cone. So I made a dozen of those, and yeah, I found a really nice from scratch chocolate cake mix, and I made the fresh whipped cream with the pudding frosting. We had so many desserts. I ended up throwing out probably 9 of them because there was just so many yummy desserts, and you know, which is fine, right? Anyway, so I didn't stitch on the 4th, I didn't stitch on the 5th, and I didn't stitch on the 6th because by the time Sunday night was done and the kids were gone and the grandkids were gone and I cleaned up and everything else, I was tired. Now, Monday the 7th, I didn't do any stitching, again, because I work at night, and I had also gone out and got the stash of a Stitchy Sister. A lot of the stuff is still sitting here. I don't know if you watched that video, but I'm going to just show you one thing and you're going to be amazed. Okay, let me make sure I have it all here. This was the floss. This was the amount of floss that was in. Okay, so if you haven't watched that video, look at this. This is just filled with floss. If you didn't watch that video, I urge you to go back and just kind of, you know, stick with me through it. It's an hour long. But what I'm going to do is de-stash those items, and anything that I have that is partially stitched, because there were some unfinished, there were some whips there, I will pull the floss for it, just to make sure, because we know that there can be some discrepancy with DMC from the 1980s, right? So anyway, so no, I did no stitching on Monday. Tuesday, I had my 3rd start. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen this pattern. It is the Stitching Rules by Primrose Cottage. And I have to move this because I have my pattern pinned to it. I'm sure you've seen this by Primrose Cottage, the Stitching Rules. I did purchase the pattern and 2 other patterns. I think I even showed them before on my floss tube. I bought the called for Lugana and the floss pack for it. She also has it shown, I believe the pieces on the back were stitched with DMC and broken down. And if you've seen this pattern, or if you haven't, each one of these, if you look at this, can be stitched individually. So I am not a frog fan. I mean, I frog sometimes, but I don't want to be reminded of it. So what I did with this was, I am not putting mine in this particular order. I'm going to change the order because I can, right? It's my stitch. So there is a bonus chart included in this, and it says, I believe it says Home Stitch Home. Yep, it says Home Stitch Home. So I did purchase the pattern. I did purchase a big piece of I bought a half yard of the light ash gray 28 count Lugana for it. I did purchase the floss pack. Now she's using color and cotton floss. What I'm finding with this floss, and maybe you have the same idea, there really is not much of a variegation to this floss, and I don't know how I feel about that. I did purchase the pack. What I'm actually doing here is moving everything out of the way so I can pull my piece out and show you. Now this I am stitching in hand because it's a Lugana and it's very easy to handle. But what I'm finding is there is not much variegation in this color and cotton. I can see some of it in the blue here, in this azure blue. I can see some. Oh, this needs to be put back on the ring. But in some of the other colors, there's hardly any variegation. So in my stitching, you know, I can see some here too in the baguette color, the brownish color. But in this particular Ferris wheel that is used for the mane, there's really not that much of a variegation. But it is stitching up fast because, again, it's letters. I already made a mistake. I'm not going to pull it out. I have the heart buttons here. One stitch down, too low. Okay. Right? It's not worth pulling it out. What did Jean used to say? Always forward. Right? So I do like this. I am going to do the full piece. Well, my plan is to do the full piece. Unless, of course, I get going through it and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I stop. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's my stitch. I can do what I want. But my plan is to keep it in a full piece and then just figure out how I'm going to finish it. I can say that I did go to an antique store yesterday and I purchased, I don't have it in here, an old-fashioned ironing board, a wooden ironing board, a standing wood ironing board. And I thought, oh my God, how cute would it be to finish something like that and just mount it to that ironing board and use that as a stand. Anyway, so the other two patterns that I did purchase when I made that purchase was the stitching quilt pattern, which is very cute. Her little pillows, and then this one is the stitching Quaker. Now I love Quakers. I just love Quakers. So I did purchase enough fabric to use the light ash gray, but then again it doesn't really matter because it is the color and cotton. It is it's the same colors for the other piece. And I'm looking, I just gotta look and see just in case. It does not have, this one does not, oh yes it does. It does have the DMC conversion in red. So if something were to happen, you know, I would choose one over the other to make sure that I would use the color and cotton. But what I'm also finding with that color and cotton, and I don't know if you find it too, it seems to fray. It just pulls. I do use long strands because I don't like to stitch or fill my needle a lot. I'm going to use a strand this long. So I know that the constant pulling through the fabric also puts a little bit of wear on the thread, and I get it. It is stitching very nice. I do like the feel of it. What I feel is lacking is more of a variegation in the thread itself. But I think it's looking very pretty, especially on that light ash gray. So I stitched on that again last night. Tonight I will have a new start. I don't know what yet. I haven't picked it. You know what? I'm going to put you on hold and I am going to go pick something. So I will be right back. Okay, friends, now I'm laughing because I purchased from Hobby Lobby those, I don't know if I have them here. They're the bins like with the cover, the printed ones. So I have a bunch of those upstairs with my whips, not whips, my kitted things and unkitted and partially kitted and all that good stuff. Anyway, so I opened up one bin, stuck my hand in there and pulled something out, and oh, guess what? We will have a Christmas in July. This one is Jingle All the Way. This is by Little House Needleworks. I do have it kitted, and it looks like I am using linen. I don't know what kind. It looks like the classic color works are here. So, goodness sakes, this is, oh, it's right on here. This is a 30 count. I don't know what that is. 30 count portobello. 30 count portobello. It's missing some of its letters. I'm like, that doesn't look like a word to me. So 30 count portobello. I wonder if I bought this as a kit. So as I said, there's Classic Color Works. There's 1 Weeks Dye Works in here. So here's the floss. And the pattern is Jingle All the Way. Now usually what I do with my patterns is I make a working copy. I am still old school, and I will take a working copy and you know, mark it off as I do it. So this will be my new start tonight. And it looks stitch heavy in the house and the barn. Way to go, Barb. It's okay, right? It's okay. It's a Christmas present to myself. So this will be my new start tonight, and I can see just by the thickness and weight of this linen, I'll be able to stitch this in hand. So this will be my start for tonight. Thank you for patiently waiting while I went and pulled something out of the bin to start. Now the other thing that I have here, I did make myself some purchases. As I said, I had to order the floss for my Friendship Garden piece, and we all know floss cannot travel alone, right? So I was watching, oh my gosh, my friends, I have watched so many floss tubers. I can't remember who talked about her So She Did pattern, that she took it to a retreat recently, and she had done some outlining, and she took it to retreat and was working on the piece at retreat because she had the lining. And I've seen this pattern, and I've wanted to buy it, and I'm going to kick myself if I've already purchased it and I didn't check my spreadsheet beforehand. But this is a Lori Holt pattern put together by It's So Emma from Fat Quarter Shop, and I really like the way they do their patterns because everything is in color. And this calls for Orifloss or DMC. Now I do have some Orifloss. I'm not a fan of it, but you know, I want to use it up. So I'm actually going to check and see if I have these colors. I'm not sure. So this will be something else that's going to go into the, well, I got to kit it up first and see what I have. So this is So She Did by Lori Holt. Oh, friends, do you know what I should do? Oh, I love when things come together like this. I don't know if I mentioned this, but my featherweight, I have one, well, now I have 3. It's a problem. The first featherweight I bought, I have since, I sent it down maybe last month to a gentleman in Florida who does painting. He's painting her the same color as my Trans Am. Now my Trans Am is flame red. It's a 2001 model. So he's painting my featherweight flame red with black decals because my interior is black leather. How cool would it be if I did her in red? Oh my goodness. Friends, I think I might have to do that. I could use 2 shades of red. Oh, here we go. I might have to, oh, well, I would have to change the other colors of some of the other things, but you know what? It's an option. We always keep our options open, right? So I have this. This was one thing that traveled with the floss again, because like I said, floss can't travel alone. And then I purchased this pattern. It's a Lizzie Kate. It's called Coffee Time. Isn't it cute? It's so cute. I am a coffee fanatic. A coffee fanatic. So this one, I am sure I have plenty of fabric for this. It uses DMC. It also, you can use weeks. So when I look at things like this, if it is something that is going to really show the variegation of the floss, then I will use the variegation. And looking at some of these colors, I'm pretty sure I have the majority of the weeks anyway. But this one, what I'm trying to do with my patterns is get better at logging, like when I buy patterns and things. I started a spreadsheet and I put everything into it. It took me a while to do that, but I did. And as a matter of fact, if you see on this little package here from this Christmas one that I just pulled out, this means that it's logged and it's in my book somewhere, and I know which bin it's in. Well, not anymore, now it's sitting here. But I'm trying to get better at doing that. Unfortunately, I still have a bunch of stuff sitting here that I haven't done yet. So it's just making the time to do it. So this is my Christmas in July. This is what it's going to look like. I'm going to start Jingle All the Way tonight. I will work on it probably 2 nights, tonight and tomorrow night. And then on Sunday, I will pick something else. And then these pieces that I have started will go into my rotation. And when I start to use my picker wheel again, I will keep them off the wheel until I work through everything that hasn't been touched. So that is my Christmas in July. I hope you're doing something for Christmas stitching. I do find it funny that the one that I picked for today is actually a Christmas piece. That's okay. I certainly do not feel it will get done for this Christmas, but I am hoping, just looking at the month here, knowing what's coming up, I'm hoping to probably have 5 or 6 more starts, maybe 10 total for this whole month. I think that would be cool. I am not going to worry about how many whips I have. My stitchy sister here that passed away, that I purchased her things for, she had the same thing. She had a lot of whips. She had her needle in her pieces. She enjoyed the work. She enjoyed the process, and that's what I am doing too. I am enjoying the process. We all purchase these beautiful things because we like them. Let's stitch them. You know what? If I end up with 40 whips at the end of July, then I'll have 40 whips at the end of July, and I'll use my picker wheel, and I'll work through, and maybe in August I'll say, you know what, I'm going to look for something that's very close to being finished, and then I will focus on that for one night to get that done. Who knows? Who knows? Right now I am taking July, and I am Christmas in Julying it for myself, and I'm giving myself new starts as presents for the month of July. So I will probably be back, today's the 11th, I'll probably be back toward the end of July. I actually have a follow-up at Roswell next week, so I'm a little nervous. It's going to be the first time I've had a mammogram since my cancer diagnosis and surgery and radiation and all that stuff. So I will see you at the end of July, and I hope you're well.